Hey guys and gals, it's me again, and I'm coming to you on my new laptop. I hope it looks a little bit better than that old one, which looked very bad, I think. Happy Saturday night. And today's going to be an expose because so much has gone by that I just can't help to comment on and bring out to the surface in case you missed what was said. So I hope this is not too painful for you. We're going to start. We're going to start with a little clip where someone is saying in this person's chat, the ANC killed my family. Never, ever forget. So I want you to just look at what is said. I'm going to turn off my music. Oh, maybe I can play this. Okay. Here we go.
Was Romans known as Caesars? I don't know about that with the one. Yeah, Michael Picard, I'm loving my trip. And there's a super chat of £5. ANC, kill my family, never forget. Thanks for me. I'm so sorry to hear that they killed your family, won't fret. I hope whoever killed them. Thank you for the £5.
Next.
Not named it John, American flags, John. What are you talking about? Sorry.
Okay. How could you just skip over this profound statement that the ANC killed his family? Oh, sorry about that. Thanks for the money. Thanks for the £5. Oh, how could you do this? It's just,
And there's a super chat of £5. ANC, kill my family, never forget. Thanks for me. I'm so sorry to hear that they killed your family, won't fret. I hope whoever killed them. Thank you for the £5.
okay, that's it. Really? And that's all you have to say about that? That's interesting. Okay, now we have something. Okay.
And I just don't post it. So I knew we earlier, I'm probably not going to post it. And what I want to talk to you about, there's a person who claims to be affiliated with the Amerikaners, and the person is not affiliated with the Amerikaners. The person has threatened others if they don't give their or direct their followers to that person's social media accounts. And the person has been slandering me and showing the videos and passing the videos around that Sloot has made. And so he's committing the crimes as well. The person has lied and claimed that he can get someone's case denied because he's with the Amerikaners. He's not with the Amerikaners, and he's a liar, and he can't do that. He is violating the terms of his refugee status in America and will be reported to USCIS for his actions. He's making fraudulent statements and threatening other people who are refugee aspirants, and apparently has already arrived in the United States. I have the name, I have the phone number, and I know where the person is at. And USCIS will be informed of this person's misconduct. No, it's a South African who's in the United States who made over the refugee program and will be reported to USCIS and is part of that little crowd. So anyway, yep.
Okay, part of that little crowd. What is he inferring here? What is he suggesting? Now, the person he's talking about here is Nick Verster. Well, you say it Verster, but this is who he's talking about. And in a minute later, he does mention his name. Nick arrived, I believe, in January or February in Iowa. And they had a real hard time. A whole bunch of people in Iowa had a hard time with IRC, the agency. And I don't know anything about him threatening this guy. I've watched Nick's videos. I've never seen any threats, but I have seen something he said that was really, really dumb. Okay. He's claiming that the Kenyans are committing discrimination against the South Africans by sending through a lot of criminal South Africans to America to ruin the program. And the reason this is so dumb is because Kenya, CWS, has no power to approve refugees. That's USCIS who does that. So this is impossible what he's saying anyhow. So take off your tinfoil hat, Nick, and stop smoking so much of your own stuff. What else goes on here? So he's going to report him to USCIS. Now, what bothers me is he's saying Nick belongs to a little crowd. Well, I disavow Nick Vester and anything he says, anything he does. When I watch his videos, I feel violence coming off the screen, through the screen. I am not part of his crowd. I disavow everyone he associates himself with.
Someone tells you that they have the ability to block you from going, a South African, they're a liar. They're a liar. They have no role. They can do nothing to you.
That's true, I think.
Well, he could be deported. Yep. Yep. Well, he's an idiot. And he's been threatening me. I don't really pay attention to him. I've ignored him. But we're not talking about Sloop, we're talking about someone else. And he's an America's refugee, and he's just put his refugee status in a lot of trouble. Yep. Yep, there are lefties everywhere. That's correct. He's also, what else did he do? Oh, he also claimed that the Amerikaners have gotten a ineligibility case overturned. That's a lie. That has not happened. That is a lie. The Amerikaners have not gotten anyone's ineligibility overturned. That's an absolute lie. If you see that in a group, person's lying. South Africa belongs to the Khoisans. Well, Ethel, I think a lot.
Okay, is this it? Yeah, that's all for that subject. And then there's something else he's saying here. I take the stand that all this man cares about is clicks and revenue and money and all these things. And he, of course, denies that. But listen to what he says here.
So I just want you all to know, and you hear it here, because they're now spreading these rumors that they've overturned an eligibility case. It has not happened. Well, let me tell you something. Okay?
Okay.
If there's a way to reverse or reconsider an ineligibility letter, do you think for a microsecond I would not share that path with people? Do you think I wouldn't tell people? I mean, come on, folks, let's be realistic here. Do you think I would hold that information? Why would I do that? First off, if I'm all about the clicks and all about the ad revenue, which is what I was saying, I would get tons of views. If I came out with my credibility and said, hey, here's the path, you can't have it overturned. That would be huge. I'd have 500,000 views on that video. And I'd make probably $800,000 on one video.
So his mind goes right to money. Is that it for this?
Why in the world would I keep that to myself? I never would.
Well, he's not keeping information to himself. He doesn't have any information. Everybody in this issue with you, all the Americans that are involved in this, all we have is speculation about what's happening. All of us. Okay, here's the next little video. Okay, he's saying that that Nick is claiming he can get people denied. and then they won't be able to come as a refugee. Well, what is this guy doing here?
Character is probably the reason you're ineligible. If you're such a smarmy, slimy, sad, pathetic loser that you attack people who help others out of the goodness of their heart. You lie, you slander, you besmirch. And by the way, those are crimes in South Africa. So be careful what you do. Be careful what you do. Those of you who've attacked me on social media, the US government knows who I am. Do you think that you're going to be able to return your ineligibility letter by behaving like that? Do you think the US government isn't watching my videos? Do you think the South African government isn't watching my videos? Well, you're pretty dim-witted and stupid if that's how you think. And for Johan Sloot, who will now take that video, cut that, edit what I just said, and he'll put something where I mention somebody else's name, and he'll claim I call them names. You're a loser. You're a fat, pathetic loser. Oh, I'll tell you the WhatsApp group, but I won't do it tonight. I'll do it later on. I'll give the person a chance to apologize. That's why I told you to all stay out of the groups. These are toxic groups led by toxic people in many cases. If you think that you can act like that on social media and attack an honorable veteran of US government who's done more in his lifetime than any of you losers who are behaving like this, you think there won't be consequences? I don't have to do anything. No, Pedro. No, you can't just ignore it. Have you seen what came out? Have you seen what they did to my viewers? People drove from Heckport. People drove from Germiston. People drove from the Vol Triangle to come to a meet and greet that had to be moved and then went home because they didn't know about it. Oh, cyber law. That woman is being sued for every cent she has by someone else, not by me.
Oh, now he's talking about me being sued. This just keeps going on and on. It's been a couple months now that I'm being sued. Where's the paperwork? That's all baloney. But my point here is, what he's saying is if you mistreat him on social media, the government's got his back and you will not come as a refugee. That's what he's saying here. Play it again if you didn't hear that. Okay.
No, there'll be no apology coming for any of these people. What was a woman?
30.
Under me, and the US government won't pay attention to that? Oh, I know the US government's watching my video. And if
No.
you think that you can besmirch and slander me and the US government won't pay attention to that, well, you're dumber than you look, the people that are doing that. Hey, Harry, thank you for 35 Rand.
So what he's doing now is saying the same thing he's accusing Nick Vester of doing. He's saying if you do this and that, you're going to not be able to come as a refugee. If you make fun of me, if you besmirch me, if you slander me, well, he's constantly going on with this slander. You're slandering, you're attacking. No. So if you disagree with what he says, or you don't like the way he says it, you've committed some terrible crime. And what he's saying is that you're not going to be able to come. The government's watching. Well, if the government watches any of his live streams, they will have judged him as being ridiculous.
Yeah, well, those who are not going to the US will be stuck with these hateful rejects, exactly. You know, I never called anyone criminals. That's a lie. I've also never misled anyone. I've also never.
Okay, so here he is saying he's never called people criminals. He also said that he's never called people druggies.
Exactly what it is. And so these people threaten other people. And see, that's the end of that. Homie, don't play that. You start threatening innocent people, you will have consequences. You're dumb enough to threaten me, which makes you ineligible. I hope you realize
So
that.
if you threaten him, I don't know who's threatening him. I haven't heard of anyone threatening him. Now he's saying, if you say anything about him, you're ineligible. What? That doesn't fly. It doesn't work that way, mister.
And I hope some of you losers who are acting like children that got those letters, most people are not like that. But the few of you who acted that way, one of the reasons you probably got is your conduct on social media.
No, I don't think so. No.
Yep.
No.
And I saw a part of Professor G's video in which he says people are attacking.
What about your conduct on social media? What about your conduct on YouTube? Just go through my rebuttal videos and you'll see his conduct. Okay, now 2740. Here we have, so he's been denying he's ever called the ineligible people criminals or drug addicts. And then he says this.
Vincenzo, I can read it, mostly not following. Heading through a hotel door, I hope to make it in time to have my wife meet you. Okay, Damien. I will be back at the same place I was last weekend tomorrow. So Fantasy Races, little Facebook groups, other reason for these denials. John Kramer, let me tell you something. Let me tell you why the denials are happening, okay? Let me tell you why. Some people have unfortunate circumstances. The woman who was human trafficked and then was selling drugs and was caught, and it's not really her fault, or is it? She was ineligible. The woman whose passport and cards were stolen in London when she was a teenager and she wound up using a forged passport. That's why she was probably ineligible. That's unfortunate. It's unfair, but it's reality. But many of these denials are coming because people have used drugs.
They're drug
and
addicts.
others have done
Or
things that are criminal acts.
Criminals.
And then, of course, social media plays a role too. There are lots of reasons for these ineligibilities. The people made themselves.
Okay, there you go. So this guy is a contradiction. Every which way you turn, he's a contradiction. And here's where he, just a little down the line in the video, here he goes calling people. Here we
Exactly, don't compare cases. Yeah, so it's comical to see these liars say that I called everyone a criminal. I didn't call anybody. Carl, did I call you a criminal? You got an ineligibility letter. I never called you a criminal. Never said you were a drug dealer, did I? Prison Break, I'm working on that. I think it's already set, but I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, so there's all kinds of, let's keep going.
Probably around lunchtime.
I think what's going to happen next is he calls everyone liars.
Pierre Fadi characters gave 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Pierre. So anyway, so I actually did look up a bunch of news for tonight. Let me just take a quick gander at that. Hope you can just bear me here.
50.
Exactly. See, I mentioned all the reasons you could have received a letter. You named multiple reasons. Those were some reasons, but not all. But some people choose to focus on criminality and drug use and lie about me. So that's their more.
So that's because right after June 30th, when the letters dropped, the first time the letters dropped, for like the whole month of July, he was repeating, the reason you got these letters is because you're a druggie or a criminal, or you lied.
Or shortcoming, and they will rot in hell for that.
So you're going to rot in hell because you lie about him?
We'll see in everything. The book about 15.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. And I just want to say a couple more things now. I think it's very strange. Someone on his chat asked him if he felt safe in South Africa. And that's a very good point, because it's my opinion that he's making a mockery of the refugee program. He's making a mockery of the situation the people are in. the minority groups over there in South Africa. He flies there to have all these happy little meetings where everyone gives him gifts and admiration. And he's prancing around South Africa in a car and with that big white beard and acting like there's no problem whatsoever. The only problem is other white people in South Africa who don't like him. So he can't be good with I mean, that's what I'm hearing anyway. There are people with a bone to pick. And so he can't announce the meetings properly or something. But anyway, I think he's making a mockery of this program. I think he's damaging the program. I think he's got very little information about what's really going on with these letters and the program. And yet he's so sure of everything. It's yeah, and one other thing, I don't think you understand as South Africans because you are on the other side of the world. You're not in America, and it's left to me because I'm an American. I understand my culture, my society, my country. And I will tell you, hardly any Americans listen to this man. He has a show called Common Sense Conservatives or something with two other gentlemen. And yeah, they talk about news and things, but they get very low views. I have more views, I think. I don't know, but it's very low. And I just want you to think about this. Why is it that no Americans listen to this man? And I'll tell you why. You are listening to him because you are a captive audience to this guy who has this grand title of a retired colonel. So you trust him, but you are a captive audience. You're interested in what he has to say about you, about the refugee program. And you don't realize that this character has you captured in a little box as his audience. And he's, like your king, right? You people, that's fine if you want to go along with that. But this Johan Sloot de Villiers, I don't agree with what he does, really. He clips and edits things. I just show things straight and let him run through the context of what he's saying. I don't edit anything. But if he was picked up on by Americans and they started watching if he put a show like this on with himself acting the way he does and misbehaving, there would be 100 Johan de Villiers making fun of him and attacking him. Because Americans would not accept this behavior and these ridiculous things, this nastiness and profanity and the AI songs with this self-aggrandizing words he puts in it and fake AI music and just to, and the Americans would just laugh at him with these songs, dancing in his chair, lip syncing. This just wouldn't fly, but it does with you because you're 1970 Americans with electronics. Yes, you're almost 50 years behind culturally. And that's where I stand. And I mean, I think I've kind of figured it out why you would accept this behavior. And it's really strange how I put a poster on my Facebook group which fries him and makes him look bad. I didn't make this poster. I'm not that good. But someone gave it to me and I put it up and it really showed how people are like clueless. I mean, in the poster, it was really soft. It wasn't that bad of a, you know, hit on him. It wasn't that bad. And yet the people defending him have never even thought about what he has said about me, the way he's fried me, the way he's denigrated me for nothing. Over and over again, called me almost every name in the book. There are only a few names left. And that's pretty funny. Are you just not hearing those parts of his videos? I don't get it. And a man who would behave this way to a woman and his elder, by the way, I am his elder, and he has no respect for his elders. Uh, don't you ever see that behavior? Okay, so watch some of my other videos if you haven't seen that. But I just wanted to bring these things up. His callous treatment of people who donate money and saying their whole family has been killed. Well, it's okay. All right. Sorry about that. The way he is actually threatening refugee hopefuls by saying if they say anything negative about him, they're going to be ineligible. They're not going to come. He's doing the same thing Nick is doing, or and he's accusing Nick of doing. I don't know anything about that. I've never seen that come out of anyone's mouth. I'd need to see it before I believed it because a lot of his information has been bad. But anyway, this had to be gone through. I hope it wasn't too painful for you. And I'll talk to you all soon. Okay? And where is my, let's see, take care.